You're sharing more than pictures when you post them online. On special assignment, the newest way for child predators to track down your kids. Bogus tips. There's a problem with the website to report corrupt county workers, and it's costing you. And what's the holdup? Why hasn't anything happened to 3 teachers accused of sex crimes against kids? They're accused of crossing the ultimate line as teachers.
But 2, 3, 4 years after their arrests, they are not in jail, and they don't even have trial dates yet. Here's News 13's Alex Tomlin with why they still have not been dealt with.
Dick, Christy Sanchez-Trujillo, Patrick Matthews, and Christopher Lucero. Their names should sound familiar. All 3 were Albuquerque teachers when they were arrested, but years later, not much has happened to them. Chris Lucero was a teacher at Lavaland Elementary in 2007 when police say he went to Cliff's amusement park and used a hidden camera attached to his shoe to upskirt girls as young as 10.
Mr. Lucero's case is the very first case of voyeurism ever brought in the state.
David Cerna is Lucero's attorney. While he may be the first, his case isn't setting many examples. After 4 years, he's still awaiting trial.
We still haven't decided whether the case is going to go to trial or whether there's going to be some resolution before trial.
Cerna's talking about a plea deal, something that may be easier to get since Lucero volunteered to do a year-long sex offender treatment program, and something the DA's office isn't ruling out for any of these cases.
A plea deal is not off the table.
Christy Sanchez-Trujillo was a Jimmy Carter middle school teacher in October of 2009 when she admitted to having sex with a 13-year-old student, which is rape. She also doesn't have a trial date, and we wondered why things aren't moving faster since she confessed to the crime.
As much as weight as we want to believe can go into a confession, that's not the only part of a criminal investigation. There's evidence, there's witness testimony, there's a lot of factors that have to be considered.
Patrick Matthews taught physics at Volcano Vista High. Cops arrested him almost 2 years ago after a 16-year-old student said she'd been having sex with Matthews for weeks, including at the high school. When APS fired Matthews, spokeswoman Monica Armenta said,
"The vast majority of people who enter this profession do so out of a genuine care and love of kids. Most would never dream of crossing the line that this man is accused of crossing."
But you guessed it, other than losing his job, not much has happened to Matthews. He doesn't have a trial date set and, like Sanchez-Trujillo, is out on bail. The DA's office says these cases are by no means on the back burner.
It's important that these cases are investigated fully, and we're giving it our attention. It just is moving at its own pace.
APS let all 3 teachers go after their arrest. Dick?
All right, Alex, as part of their conditions of release, all of them are banned from being around children while they do await trial.
News 13 has learned a jail guard is accused of smuggling drugs to inmates in burritos. The Valencia County jail guard was fired yesterday. Sources say his name is John Gordon, and the drug was pot. The sheriff's department is investigating. Gordon has not been charged yet, and he is not in custody.
Santa Fe police have finally caught an extremely slippery suspect. Lino Quintana allegedly shot at a couple in Espanola in a road rage incident in September. An Espanola police officer spotted him in October, but during a struggle, the officer accidentally tased himself and Quintana got away. Last week, state police caught Quintana in a car with stolen plates, but after another struggle, he got away again. Santa Fe cops caught him and kept him over the weekend. He's now jailed without bond, facing a long list of crimes. Note to car thieves, make sure the car you steal has gas. APD says Matthew Harada and Andres Jimenez ran out of gas in a stolen Acura this afternoon. Witnesses who saw them trying to steal another car called police. Officers caught them in a parking lot near Louisiana and Constitution.
It's meant to report corruption and theft in government, but News 13 has learned the county's anonymous tip line is getting a lot of bizarre tips that are wasting a lot of time and money to look into. Now the county is looking at changing things up, but could the new way end up scaring tipsters away? Katie Kim is live in the Newsplex.
Jessica, the tip line is supposed to be for people to report county workers who are abusing their jobs or breaking laws. Now the county wants to revamp it, but some people might find the proposed changes seriously flawed. The complaints claiming county employees are misbehaving have flooded in. For example, one person complained about a department manager dribbling a basketball in his office. Then there's the person that submitted a, quote, ethics violation for dogs constantly barking all night in his neighborhood. And another who complained about a charge on a phone bill.
We're spending a lot of taxpayer money on what really amount to frivolous complaints.
All the complaints that come through the tip line, called the ethics portal on the county's website, are automatically forwarded to an independent investigator who makes $200 an hour to look into every tip. Just this year, the county has shelled out more than $92 grand to investigate the tips. Over the last 2 years, the payout has topped $152,000.
You get everything under the sun if you have an anonymous portal.
Commissioner Wayne Johnson says only 2 of the 80 anonymous complaints that have been filed online actually deal with ethics violations. The county wants to change that by now requiring tipsters to submit their names with their tips. The citizen-run ethics board would then screen those complaints before sending them off to the high-priced investigator.
We're talking about influence peddling primarily in the ethics ordinance and using your position as a county employee or county elected official to influence how the county acts.
But Johnson admits requesting names might discourage tips. He says the county will work on providing another avenue for people to leave anonymous tips outside of the ethics portal. Anonymous tips would go to the county manager and county commissioners. Johnson says there won't be a conflict of interest because the violations will also be sent to several high-level managers. Jess, back to you.
Okay, Katie, the county hopes to pass the new ethics ordinance by the end of the year.
An Albuquerque eye doctor caught with guns and drugs in his house will not have to go to jail. Emergency crews found Dr. Philip Simmons, an optometrist, unconscious at his home last year after he had not been to work for several days. Officers found marijuana, heroin, and dozens of rifles and other firearms in the house. As part of a plea deal on federal weapons and drug charges, Simmons must turn over the guns, complete a substance abuse program, and serve at least 3 years of probation.
It's priority number 1 for state police working in northern New Mexico. A family of 3 bludgeoned to death, and 5 months later, there's still no leads. A relative found the bodies of Lloyd and Dixie Ortiz and their 21-year-old adopted son, Stephen, on Father's Day at their home in El Rancho near Espanola. Police found a blood-stained pickaxe at the scene, but they still haven't come up with a suspect or even a motive. Now they're asking for the public's help.
Historically, what law enforcement has found is that sometimes the public may have seen something or know something that they think is minuscule or isn't important to the case, and it may turn out to be very important to the case.
Police found 17 pot plants in the Ortiz's home, but they say they were for medicinal purposes. Several guns with missing serial numbers were also found in the home. Investigators say they're now at the crime lab.
A woman's drug smuggling scheme ended badly at the Albuquerque Sunport today. Police say somebody paid Nisha Bell $850 to carry more than 60 pounds of marijuana from Tucson to Dallas on Southwest Airlines. TSA inspectors found the weed in one of her checked bags at the Tucson airport. Her flight was headed to Albuquerque, where she had to change planes. Airport cops here had Bell's name, but they didn't know what she looked like. Then she did something that helped them.
She actually checked with the airline to verify her bags made the trip, which allowed us to identify her physically.
A drug dog then sniffed out her second suitcase. Police say they found more than 33 pounds of marijuana inside. The bag in Tucson had 30 pounds. Police say Bell told them she had done the smuggling run before and gotten away with it.
The red light cameras are going dark, but if you have an outstanding ticket, don't toss it just yet. The city says there's $20 million in unpaid tickets dating back to 2005. But just because the contract with red light company Redflex is ending doesn't necessarily mean drivers with debt will get a free pass.
Tickets that were issued when the ordinance was in effect are still going to be valid and enforceable.
But the city says it will be up to Redflex to collect the money. A portion of the fees would go to the city and state. Redflex hasn't said whether it plans to collect on the tickets or not. The company behind the tainted cantaloupe that killed 5 New Mexicans this fall is being sued on behalf of one of those victims. 96-year-old Florence Wilcox of Hobbs died after eating the fruit contaminated with listeria. Now a Seattle company is taking on the Colorado company that produced them and 2 food safety firms. The lawsuit says food safety auditors gave the cantaloupe farm a superior rating for safety and quality just weeks before the outbreak was linked to them.
Herman Cain may be considering getting out of the presidential race. He didn't say anything about his latest troubles during a speech in Michigan tonight.
It's not my first time here at Hillsdale, and it will not be my last time here at Hillsdale.
But Cain did tell his staff earlier today it is time to reassess the campaign. He's trying to figure out how much damage has been done by charges that he had an extramarital affair with an Atlanta woman. Cain denies the affair, but this charge, combined with earlier allegations from other women of sexual harassment, might mean the end. For now, he is only committing to a campaign schedule for the next several days.
Most people who have smartphones love them. Can't remember what they ever did without them.
But there's something about smartphones you probably don't know. A feature that tells your home address to people who you definitely do not want to have it. At 10:15, Dean Staley's on special assignment with what it is, how it works, and how to stop it.
The most promising storm we've had in over a year could be headed toward New Mexico, and it's going to pack big-time winds, really cold air, and a lot of snow. Details in your full forecast when we return.
Hi, my name's Tech Sergeant Kathleen Buss. I'm currently stationed at Transit Center Manaus. I'd like to give a shout out to my son Michael Buss, currently living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Have a great Christmas, and I'll see you soon. I love you.
Brought to you by your neighborhood Napa Auto Care Center.
When you or your kids take pictures on a smartphone, and put them on Facebook or some other social media site, you could be letting creeps, stalkers, or child predators know a lot more about you than you think, like where you live, where you work, where you go to school. Dean Staley explains in tonight's special assignment.
When you have a baby that gives hugs, is learning her shapes,
good job,
and at 18 months is already playing movie star,
let me see.
It's hard not to share these moments with friends and family.
What'd you find?
But when Beth Richardson shares these pictures online, she is also, without knowing it, telling anyone who's curious enough to look exactly where she lives.
It is a huge concern. I mean, there are all kinds of, unfortunately, people that I probably don't want to know where my 18-month-old lives.
So how is Beth unknowingly showing people exactly where she lives? Well, you probably already know that every smartphone has a GPS system that uses satellites to pinpoint its exact location on the globe. What you might not know is that your phone is attaching that GPS information to every photo you take.
That information travels with the picture wherever it goes. Anyone who knows how to read it can tell exactly where the picture was taken.
Another way to look at geotagging of a photograph, I mean, it's almost like you are voluntarily wearing a GPS tracking device.
Sergeant Paul Zeich runs APD's anti-stalking unit.
And that's one of the first things that we instruct our stalking victims to do, and that is unplug from social media.
That's because every time you upload a photo, you could be telling people not only where you are, but also where you hang out.
You've essentially showed them each and every place that you would go to be safe. I mean, it's your family, it's your friends, it's your work. That's where you take pictures and photographs.
It's a new trend that has some parents rethinking old habits.
You gotta pay attention to that stuff and just be aware that it's there. Because honestly, I mean, I truly didn't realize that it was that easy to find.
And don't think you're protected just because you only allow friends to see what you post online.
Whether you block them or not, eventually they will gain access through trial and error to your page to view content that you do not want them to view.
The bottom line is predators are out there everywhere. And it's our responsibility as parents to really be alert and be paying attention and protective of our kids.
On special assignment, Dean Staley, KRQE News 13.
The good news is that it's actually easy to protect yourself. Just go into the settings on your smartphone and turn off the location services.
The state's summer campaign to catch a famous New Mexico outlaw seems to have paid off. The tourism department says the Billy the Kid hunt, called Catch the Kid, pulled in $4 to $5 million. That's pretty good considering it only cost $640,000 to pull the whole thing off.
The tourism industry is actually the second largest industry in the state of New Mexico in terms of economic impact. So while it's fun and we need New Mexicans traveling around New Mexico, it's also really important that people understand what a big impact it is.
To make sure revenue continues to grow, the department will launch a new website called Give the Gift of Travel. It will offer spa deals, fishing packages, and even ski deals for under $100. A new campaign is also planned to kick off in January.
Albuquerque still has some of the cheapest gas in the nation. Our latest average, $2.89 a gallon, at most stations anyway. A viewer sent this photo from a station near Paseo and Tramway. It was listed there at $3,000 a gallon. No word on how much business they're doing. And the holiday season is now officially here. The tumbleweed snowman is up. Flood control workers put this year's up this morning in his spot on I-40 westbound. Travelers have the rest of the month to enjoy the big guy.
That is a big guy. Well, a quick update to the Jetman story we told you about last night. You remember the man from Switzerland with a jetpack on his back, flying formation with 2 jet fighters? Jetman travels at 125 miles an hour, and Mark and Dick were wondering how those planes could fly that slowly and still stay in the air. Well, an alert viewer tells us these planes are high-performance jet trainers known as the Albatross, and while they can fly very fast, they're also designed to fly very slow for a jet.
You know those alert viewers.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You guys have a lot of answers. Yeah, we do appreciate that. And well, things look interesting coming up, and you guys, I don't know any other way to spin this other than this storm looks as promising as any one we've had in a long time.
We don't spin things here.
No, I don't spin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you don't either. I know. All right, let's get right to it. Show you what's going on here. 39 degrees in the metro area. Winds right now are calm. It's a cool evening out there across the northern part of the state and up into areas like Alamosa and Durango. Temperatures in the 20s around Gallup and Grants and down to the south. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Cloud cover wise, not much left out there for tonight. So temperatures will drop pretty low, 20s and 30s across most of the state. If you get up into the northern mountains, could even see some teens out there as well. Then tomorrow, the weather looks pretty good. Mostly sunny skies, no big issues. The wheels come off on Thursday, though, as we have a series of issues here. We start with a big-time cold front. Because the cold front's coming in on Thursday, we already have a high wind watch for the Rio Grande Valley up into Santa Fe and down into Socorro County as well throughout the day on Thursday. By around mid-morning through Thursday night, we're going to see some big-time winds here, including the metro area. So as the front slides through, temperatures will plummet throughout the day on Thursday, and then that cold air will squeeze its way through places like the Tejeras Canyon, through Glorieta Pass, and that will really speed those winds up. So here in the metro area, by late in the day on Thursday, we could see wind gusts close to 60, 65 miles an hour. So that's the first shot here to let us know that things are changing. There's going to be very cold air in place. And once we get that all set, we bring the storm systems in for Friday and Saturday. So right now, those storms are off the Pacific Northwest coast. Thursday through Sunday is the time frame we're looking at now. Long duration series of systems here. Heavy mountain snow, I think, is a real good bet. Valley snow is going to be possible. Much colder temperatures as well. And even in the metro, we could pick up some snow. Bust potential on this starting to come down because we're getting nice consistency that this thing is headed in our direction. So here's what we expect. Remember, cold air in place on Thursday, and then the storm comes in. So anything that falls in our direction for Friday and Saturday will most likely be snow here. We're also going to have enough moisture in place, it looks like, to wring out some high snow numbers, especially across mountain sections here. This thing could be great for the resorts, or we could be looking at well over a foot of snow from this particular storm. So for the mountains, snow develops later on Thursday, light stuff, but then late Friday it really cranks up, and throughout the day on Saturday, frigid temperatures as well. Here in and around the metro area, we're going going to have our shot too. We get the big time winds coming up on Thursday. Cold air settles in as we work our way into Friday. Then late Friday into Saturday morning, if we're going to pick up snow, that's the time we're going to do it. East central areas like along the I-40 corridor, we could do very well for snow up into the northeast as well. And it's possible off the backside of this initial storm, we could grab another storm that could kick through the state on Sunday. So this is going to be a very active setup here over the next 3 to 4 days. And it all starts with the wind on Thursday and a lot of cold air. Check out the temperatures as we head through the 7-day forecast here, and you'll see them plummet. Friday, good chance of snow up and around the Durango area. North and west, temperatures here 50s and 60s tomorrow, then increasing chances of some showers and much colder temperatures, 39 by Friday. Down to the south and west, tomorrow 50s and 60s, partly sunny on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday increasing clouds with chances of showers as well. Over to the southeast, watch these temps, 68 tomorrow, but by Friday, just 37 for a high across southeastern New Mexico, where we could pick up some snow there. East central sections up into the northeast. You guys are going to be one of the real bullseye points. And look at those highs. 31 Friday with snow. Saturday, 24 with snow. In Las Vegas, yikes, 52 in Santa Fe, 51 in Taos, partly cloudy skies, increasing chances of getting snow up over the northern mountains coming up Friday night into Saturday. 60s in the East Mountains for tomorrow. Winds out of the south 10 to 20, not a real big deal. Metro tomorrow looks pretty good, lots of sunshine. Winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles an hour. But remember, Thursday, big time winds. Friday, temperatures very cold, and looking for the chance at snow Friday night into Saturday morning, not escaping the 30s.
This is something people really need to get ready for, isn't it?
Absolutely. And across the northeast, those temperatures continue to go down. We could be in the single digits by Sunday morning, so we are talking cold issues too.
Stay with us.
Sports is next.
They started the night at 5-1. The New Mexico State Aggies entertaining thoughts of making the win total 6 and sending the Arizona Wildcats away with the loss. Aggies and Wildcats in Las Cruces, and Wendell McKinnis having himself one type of ball game, a good one. Knocking down back-to-back threes. Aggies up 10-2 early, but Nick Johnson also shoots a pretty good three ball, and he plays for Arizona. 19 points from Mr. Johnson, and this one dropping right here. Arizona up. They would lead 44-40 at the break. Second half, more Wendell McKinnis stroking it. McKinnis, 28 points, 10 boards, but not enough tonight as the Aggies would fall 83-76. The Aggies are at Southern Mississippi December 4th. The Lobos' next opponent has arrived. The Idaho State Bengals will face the Lobos team that has spent the last 4 games on the road. Bengals coach Joe O'Brien coaching Iowa at the same time Lobos coach Steve Alford was leading the Hawkeyes. O'Brien has an idea of what to expect tomorrow night.
He's done very well here, and they're off to a pretty good start this year with a couple wins over the Pac-10, and watched them over the weekend in the tournament. So we have a pretty good feel. It's just a matter of, are we going to be able to find some answers to some things that they like to do.
Bengals 7'4" center Jacob Kismerick could be limited in action tomorrow. The big guy is still recovering from an injury.
You know, I've been kind of struggling with my shoulder injury since 2 games ago, but I've been doing a lot of rehab with our athletic trainer, and I hope I'm going to be ready for tomorrow.
Tomorrow night's game at the Pit has a 7 p.m. start, and it will not be broadcast. Metro Tournament Hoop quarterfinals, La Cueva and Cibola on a neutral court. And Devin Vallejos, the 3 for Cibola, they're playing at Rio Grande High School. Other end, Bryce Alford, 2 of his 25 points. And then Alford with the assist, Kai Loxley scoring 7 tonight. La Cueva winning 50-43. They'll get hope in the semifinals Thursday. Timeout is called. It's pink slip time for an NFL coach. And the Lobos prepare for a football date with the Boise State Broncos as George Barlow thinks back on his education by fire. Explanation on the other side. Your high school football fix is on sister station 2 Costa Fox Friday. The New Mexico ChevyDealers.com playoff edition starts at 11 p.m. Welcome back for his final act. UNM interim head football coach George Barlow will get to take his team to Boise State to face Kellen Moore and the 7th-ranked Broncos on Senior Day. It's just the latest tough hurdle in a season that has been loaded with adversity. Barlow found himself leading after Mike Loxley was fired during the season. Lobos interim coach isn't saying what is next for him, but he does believe the tough training has prepared him to be a good coach somewhere else.
You can't be in much of a tougher situation that I've been in, the last 8 games, because you have to really pretty much go, work with what's there. And I've just tried to work with what's there as best I can and try to improve it and just try to, you know, put these kids in the best situation they can and make sure they have the best experience they possibly can.
Game time 4:06 on Saturday. Detroit defensive lineman Ndamukong Suh has been suspended for 2 games by the NFL for this poor behavior he displayed on Thanksgiving Day. Suh has already filed an appeal against the ruling. And after more than 8 seasons, the Jacksonville Jaguars have decided to part ways with Jack Del Rio. The Jaguars also announced today that they have sold the team to an Illinois businessman. Del Rio was 69-73 in Jacksonville, but hadn't made the playoffs since 2007. Defensive coordinator Mel Tucker will take over as interim head coach. And Dick, I'm about to hurt your ears. Bobby Valentine, Red Sox manager, that's what's being reported right now.
Well, I think he'd be a good one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Tremendous amount of wind coming up for Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday we'll get our chance at some snow showers here. This is a good-looking storm.
All right, thanks, Mark, and thank you for watching News 13.
Have a great night.